In Unit 2, we're really talking now about the 5 tasks of strategic managers, and the critical thing to get our head around in this unit is what those 5 things are and how we go about them, understanding at a fairly high level how we go about them. So the first task is the crafting of a vision, or the creation of a vision. And in John Kotter's work, where he defined the difference between leading and managing, the major difference between a leader and a manager in Kotter's description is really the fact that leaders create vision, align people to the vision, and then motivate people to want to achieve the vision. And so visions are really important. Vision is giving the key stakeholders, employees, shareholders, customers, all of the key stakeholders whose involvement we need in order to produce the right outcomes, a clarity about what the future state of the organisation is going to be. And it needs to be clear, motivating, articulated and short in order for people to sign up to it. So first the leader's got to create the vision. The strategic manager and the leader have to create the vision. Then they need to turn that into a series of outcome statements called objectives. So then the vision needs to be translated into what are we going to do to make that vision happen. Once we know what we're trying to do, we then need to say, how are we going to go about doing that? And that's what crafting a strategy is about. So the vision leads to a series of objectives, and objectives are statements of what outcome do we want to achieve. And those objectives then cascade down to a series of strategies, which is how are we going to achieve the objectives. So once we've been clear about where we want to finish up, what the objectives are and how we're going to achieve the objectives, we then need to focus on the implementation. And that, which we'll get to in a later unit, that's a critical success factor. Excellence at execution, excellence in implementation is often the difference between strategies that work and strategies that don't. And then finally, we need to set up how we're going to monitor and evaluate the success of our strategy. So the 5 steps again. Firstly, we need to articulate a vision. Then we need to set a series of objectives, statements of what we're going to achieve. Then we need to craft a series of strategies, which is how we're going to achieve the objectives. Then we need to focus some attention on developing a process for implementation and execution. And then finally, we need to set up how we're going to monitor and evaluate that. And if you do those 5 things well, you're a good strategic manager.